Welcome po sa Opinion TVPH channel. Mga kababayan, sabay-sabay po natin panoorin ang balitang ito at sama-sama tayong mag-react sa comment section. Please support my channel. Like, share, and subscribe.
Now, related to that, or I mean, it wouldn't be related to that, but in the political sphere, you also have several groups that are calling for an investigation into Vice President Sara Duterte's use of confidential funds. There's also the case filed by Senator Trillanes against former President Duterte. Sa dami po ng kaso, will you prioritize this? I mean, this would be...
No, Karen, ano yan eh. All of them are important, Karen.
Okay,
And
this
we
would
just
be
have to go to work
politically
every day.
sensitive at this point.
Alam mo how we'll handle it, Karen? We just go to work every day with a sense of urgency to solve these problems. Ganun lang yun. Just go to work every day, just show up, that's half the victory. Because things will fall into place once you're there to decide on the course of action for every case. So yun lang yun. It's nothing more than that. I'm not overwhelmed by the idea because I'm used to it. I'm used to going to work every day and I'm used to handling problems every day.
Oo. Now, Ombudsman, these are cases involving, in effect, they're in the political faction of the Dutertes. So what now would you do, for example, no? I mean, there's been a lot of expose and accusations. Let's start with former Congressman Zaldico, now resigned Congressman Zaldico, of billions of pesos of insertions. What is the status? May kaso po bang isinampa sa Ombudsman?
I think pending na yung freeze order na petition against Saltico. It's pending in the Court of Appeals already. It's something that I had a discussion with some people in the Anti-Money Laundering Council because it's something that we have to do. And the AMLC used to act slower on these cases. Dati inaabot sila ng 4 months bago makakuha ng freeze order. Now I think that we will get it in record time. Kasi nga, people already feel the sense of urgency. And I'm happy that most people are in it with me na kailangan talagang tapusin natin itong mga problema ito and move forward as a country. I think that's the essence of it. It's the essence of why we're there.
Yeah, but before moving forward, I think people really want accountability, right?
Yes.
And that's why you're going to be busy. But
Yes.
I want to ask you first. So you have the Zaldico situation, but the Ombudsman is also tasked to investigate even sins of omission, right? When it
Yes,
comes
yes,
to
of course.
government officials.
Yes,
What
yes.
happens to former Speaker Martin Romualdez? I mean, clearly, they floated even the possibility of him becoming state witness, which was quite surprising in social media. But at some point, he just said, wala akong alam dyan. Hindi ako umupo sa bycam. Will the Ombudsman act on anything related to the former speaker, given that he was in charge in the 19th Congress when all of these insertions were made?
The least that we can do right now is to study liability for sins of omission. That's the least. But actively, we're looking for evidence. Everything will be based on evidence, Karen. We cannot pursue a case without any evidence. I think that that is the way the justice system should work. That's why evidence gathering is so critical here. And we will get there. We are studying the legal theory behind the sins of omission, negligence, and negligence itself has never been legislated, or the justice system has never gotten a billion peso reward or a billion peso fine on negligence. This might be the first time, Karen. It just might be the first time.
Because how do you assure the public? You did say that you will not use it to weaponize, right, the office. But you have criticisms coming already, I mean, going against this administration, saying that in the end, hindi naman pala totoo yung walang sasantuhin, kahit kamag-anak, kahit kaalyado. You know, you have criticisms, fears, that in the end, this administration will protect, at the end of the day, the former speaker as he is related to the president.
Ano nga yan? Dapat yan i-gather nila yung evidence nila tapos iharap nila sa amin. Tulungan nila kami. I need people to help. People should be helping the ombudsman. Yun ang tingin ko lang, ha? Kasi hindi rin madaling kumuha ng ebidensya. But if you have it and you can give it to us, we will use it. I promise you. We will not throw away anything of value that can be used in the prosecution of cases.
All right. Now, talking about other senators, you mentioned Senator Joel Villanueva. I want to ask you, because the ombudsman at one point ordered the dismissal of Senator Joel Villanueva, which was never acted upon. He's now implicated in a similar controversy. First, what happens to the old order, and what happens now to new issues against him?
Karen, that order was given by former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales in 2015, when Sonny Belmonte was still Speaker of the House. And later on, the same order was given to the Senate President in 2016, and then nothing came out of it. And I think that it is one of the things that the Supreme Court will have to decide eventually. What is the real power of the Ombudsman to dismiss people who fall under the House and under the Senate? Does the Senate have, or does the Senate leadership have an obligation to listen and enforce the orders of the Ombudsman within its system? Because that is the issue here. This office was created by the Constitution. It's a constitutional office, but it cannot be less important than the rules of the Senate or the rules of the House. So at the time, the Speaker didn't dismiss him, and the Senate allowed him to sit down as a senator, even though he was already dismissed and disqualified from public service. This has to come to a head, and we are relying on the judiciary to come up with a pronouncement on this matter. Sinasabi ko nga, when I try to go after with these cases, I will always seek out the advice of the judiciary, because they're half the legal system that we have. Sila talaga yung dapat nagsasabi na ito ang dapat gawin dyan. O dapat dyan, dalhin nyo sa COMELEC kung sasabihin nila para hindi na yan makaupo. But they have to lay down guidelines in this matter. They're not perfect. The judiciary is not perfect. But at least we have a working judiciary that can decide controversies of this magnitude.
Bo, if I were to ask you, what do you believe is the power of the ombudsman under the Constitution? Halimbawa, meron kayong inutos, it doesn't have to be Senator Villanueva, kailangan ma-dismiss, nakaupong senador. What do you believe kung ano ang tama? Kasi paano nga yun? Halimbawa,
dapat yan, ano lang Karen, that should be enforceable immediately. By a letter containing the decision given to the Senate President. And the Senate President should be the one to enforce it. That is the only way to do it. And then, of course,
I guess the person...
We will try it now.
Yes.
We will try to enforce it now. We will write a letter to the Ombudsman, to the Senate President, ask him to enforce a long a letter that was supposed to have been sent long ago, and ask him now to enforce that order, because that is the way it works. They have to respect. We have to respect each other here. We respect their rules. We respect the way that they conduct business. We respect the independence of the Senate. But the design of the government is that the Ombudsman is there to protect the people, and we all are there to serve the people. So it has to come to a head sooner or later.
Okay, I want to make this clear because you're announcing something new today. Are you saying that you will write to Senate President Tito Soto, I guess, is it today or within the week, to immediately enforce...
I will try to have it done today so I can deliver it to him tomorrow when I go to the Senate, because we have a budget hearing at the Senate. It's something that has to be decided between men and between institutions, and it has to be for the good of the people. What is the meaning of this office if people will just ignore the orders of this office?
So you will write a letter today
Yes.
to enforce the
I will
old
hand carry it to the Senate President
Pero
tomorrow morning.
let me just say, the old dismissal order of Conchita Carpio Morales against Senator Joel Villanueva.
Yes, I will do it, Karen. Because it has to be done. It is the only incident lacking for the court to decide. So there's a justiciable controversy. We have to create it. We cannot just stand there and be a bystander. We have to be the active participants to trigger a response from the court.
Okay. All right. Now, you may have the Senate once again acting as a body protecting their own. What would you do when it repeats itself?
Well, we will go to court. We will go to the Supreme Court. It is really meant to go to the Supreme Court if they do not obey. And chances are they will not obey. Because it's a collegial body that decides on only on political matters when it comes to decisions like this. So it has to become a justiciable controversy for the court to decide. So if they refuse to do it or it's not enforced, the vote is not gotten, then we will ask the courts about how the hell do we enforce an order from the ombudsman when it's final in the secretary? Or even when it's not final in the secretary, but because it contains a grave offense, you're found guilty of a grave offense, I think that it's our duty to enforce it.
Oo. May tanong lang ako, Ombudsman, no? Nung panahon ba ni Conchita Carpio Morales, when they ordered the dismissal, did they also send it to the Senate President, the letter, and outright the Senate just ignored it or declined to act on it? Yun ba ang nangyari?
I'm not sure, actually.
Oo, yeah.
I have to go into that again. It's, I actually have to talk to Conchita, to Ma'am, to Justice Morales, so that we can. I will have a background.
Yeah.
I will need that background. I will need that even before we file a case in court in the Supreme Court for the enforcement of this. We will just need her advice also.
But I find that quite interesting that you have a very strong point. The only way for the Supreme Court to act on it is to create the judicial controversy.
Yes,
and then
we call
they
it,
have
as
to
we
decide.
lawyers call it, a justiciable controversy. A justiciable controversy.
Justiciable controversy.
Yes.
All right.
In legal
Okay.
parlance.
Now, other than that, I want to ask you is Senator Amy Marcos. I just want to ask you, because what do you believe motivates her opposition to your appointment as ombudsman? What is the reason?
Her politics. She's playing to the crowd. She's playing to the DDS. She wants to be loved by the DDS. And they're weaponizing their position to vilify my reputation. And to even spread fake news. What fake news? That there was a kidnapping? If that's a kidnapping, the ICC will not accept President Duterte in their fold. Nothing illegal has been declared by the Supreme Court after all these months, 7 months. And I think that this thing has to stop. Let the courts decide. Let the justice system roll properly, so that we know liabilities, how the liabilities will be treated by the ICC, because it's there already. Nothing can be done about it.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the office, even before you came in as ombudsman, the office actually faces criticism on backlogs, digitalization delays. Of course, we talked about allegations of midnight appointments already, but be specific on the reforms so that you can reinstate institutional integrity and transparency in the office of the ombudsman.
Well, digitization is actually a must. Karen, I was speaking to the deputy ombudsman, and the one from Mindanao was present. Mr. Law was present, Andy Law, and we told them how long does it take to transmit an order or at least a document coming from Mindanao, and he says we have to personally carry it there.
Oh,
There's no digital instrument being used right now, because rather, if I have it right, even the courts have accepted digital digital solutions already, and we already have e-filing.
Yeah.
And then scanners are abound. We have scanners that can scan documents and make them, you just certify them as duplicate originals, and it can be done. But that's not been done. And that's why it's something that's so urgent. Digitization is so urgent because it is also a way to check on abuses.
Okay.
Yung aging ng documents will always be evident when you have a digital system. Wala pang digital system that will age the documents properly. So magkakadukay ka manually. And the space that it's taking up, the paper that's taking up the space in the office really is horrendous.
Yeah.
We have to hire warehouses for it. We can hire the warehouses, but we will have to digitize all of these files.
Yeah.
So institutionally, we will have a history of all the filings within the Office of the Ombudsman.
But then there are so many global companies that already do this.
Yes, yes, I know.
Is it part of your budget?
Not yet, but we have savings. For special projects like this, I think we can utilize savings. We will just inform the DBM about the use of savings for this purpose.
Okay.
But it's something that we consider very urgent. And the deadline is yesterday, Karen, as I always say.
If I were to ask you just offhand, because you've just been there 2 weeks, correct? Are you just
Yes.
2 weeks or 1 week? 2 weeks.
2 weeks today. Today is the second week.
Okay.
Because I was there Friday last week. So this is the 14th day.
Okay, if I were to ask you, and this is just offhand, what is or what are the most high-profile backlogs that you have in the Ombudsman's office?
Family? Family is one of
Most
them.
formally,
Oh, it's major. I think it's major because the impunity didn't stop after that. I think that family was a symbol of impunity. That people are not afraid to get caught.
yeah.
Yun yun eh. That's one of the most high-profile cases that I can think of. Joel Villanueva is a backlog that has to be cleared. Sabi ko, that's the elephant in the room. It's something that has to be resolved by the people, by the Supreme Court later on, if the Senate will not bow to the order of the Ombudsman in enforcing a valid order. Because if there's no TRO, there's no restraining order, or there's no, the court does not tell us that we cannot do it, then it is presumed valid. It's presumed to be a valid act of Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales.
Now, alam ko may nag-file ulit ng kaso ng reklamo regarding Tarlac officials.
Yes.
Kahapon lang yun. Right?
Yes.
So, ano ang estilo po ninyo? How would you do it? All of this at
Ano
the
na yan? Nasa
same
evaluation
time?
na yan. That's already in the evaluation stage.
Okay.
And the moment that they find probable, just not probable cause, but they find that there is a room for investigating it further, then we will go to the fact finding and then go to preliminary investigation. It can be a quick one, Karen. We just have to validate the authenticity of the documents filed as evidence.
Okay, because I'll read essentially what I think you've raised concerns on. Problems of inordinate delay. For example, complaint evaluation. You want to reduce the period from 72 hours to 48 hours.
Yes.
Is that actually feasible with the
It is
staff?
feasible because it's just a document, Karen, that you have to evaluate.
Okay.
Why should it take more than 72 hours? Then let them answer that question.
Pero kaya mo ibaba ng 48? That would be 2 days.
2 days. Dapat pwede na evaluation in 2 days.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 days and nasabi mo na nga yung fact-finding you wanna
Fact-finding,
limit it
yes.
to 60
Ang
days.
fact-finding, Karen, or normally, yan ang tinatawag namin sa DOJ na case build-up. That's when the graph investigator, prosecution officer, will go into the nitty-gritty of the case file and try to gather the proper evidence. So we will get the affidavits there. When the affidavits are complete and there's other evidence that can hold up in court, then we go to preliminary investigation. And the PI there are some PIs that took like formally took a long time, 4 years to be filed, and it was only filed when I was about to enter the office. It was filed after the retirement of Ombudsman Martinez.
Yeah.
So we just have to make things work faster. There should be a sense of urgency here, Karen.
Okay. Kasi yung preliminary investigation, it was allowable 1 year. Is that
Yes.
correct? And you want
Yes.
it down to 60 days?
Yes, 60 days should be possible. It should be possible to do it in 60 days.
Okay, all right. Now, very quickly, okay, the review of the Formally case, the review of the charges, you're starting now. How many days are you giving the office?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And after 2 weeks, ano
Then
pala?
after we, because the cases are still being withdrawn now from it's not instant, Karen. I had to sign another document yesterday for the withdrawal of the cases. I thought that I signed one already. Then there's one more that I had to sign yesterday. The moment that the cases are withdrawn from the ombudsman completely from the Sandigan Bayan, then 2 weeks should be enough to look at the evidence that we have. That's presuming that all the evidence is intact.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the Senate and the lower house have proposed bills institutionalizing the ICI and giving it more power. Pero when I spoke with former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, technically, trabaho na daw yun ng ombudsman.
Exactly, Karen. That's
Yun
what
sabi
we
niya
do.
mo, to proprio at
Yes,
makapangyarihan na ang ombudsman.
Yes. Well, the ICI will be doing its thing for the next 3 weeks to 1 month, I think. After which it will be wrapping up already. Then everything will be left to the ombudsman already.
Oo. Kasi the concern is it will be, in a way, it will be duplicative of your work.
It's possible, Karen, but the fact that I stepped in almost 2 weeks ago, and the ICI was already investigating cases, it made things easier for us. It's making things easier for us. I really appreciate the effort the ICI is putting in because it's something that the system needs. Kaya nga, even crowdsourcing is one of the things we want to do when it comes to lifestyle checks. Because all the help that we can use from the ICI to neighbors, nosy neighbors, we will entertain it as long as it helps us pursue our cases.
Oo, alam nyo, do you think, frankly speaking, kasi when I interviewed Rogelio Singson, he said 3 lang sila doon, right?
Yes.
Hindi naman sila talagang, hindi lahat sila ay investigador, hindi ganun ang training nila.
Yes.
Frankly speaking, do you believe that the ombudsman or a representative of the ombudsman's office should be sitting in the ICI?
Actually, we have one already.
Meron na.
Yes.
To
We have one
observe.
already.
To observe.
To observe, yes.
Okay.
And then we gave them. I was not yet in the ombudsman's office when I was still in DOJ. We made sure that the PAO gave them lawyers who will help them process all the information and come and buttress their legal theory. So
Okay.
it's something that had to be done when I was still in the DOJ.
All right. Now, there's a question here that came in. The possible charges against former Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero. So one of the accusations is Escudero receiving 30 million pesos from a contractor as a campaign donation, right? And he claims it is personal. There are other politicians that the PCIJ has found out have also received donations from contractors. Apparently, contractors pala talaga ang nagdo-donate ng cash, no, kapag kampanya. What happens then? Paano po ito, Ombudsman?
It's more of a common issue, Karen.
Okay.
Only when there is already an allegation of criminal intent will the ombudsman step in. So let the COMELEC decide it first, because that actually is tantamount to disqualification of from office, and that's an election offense that cannot be ignored. So even natin sa COMELEC yan. And let the ombudsman do its job if it has to later on.
Okay. You know, I'm curious, no, because Senator Panfilo Lacson has said the original sin really starts from the insertions, right? Nag-iba-iba ang pangalan. How far and what can the ombudsman cover really? Kasi kahit sa Senado, may listahang lumabas of alleged insertions. Diba? Nakita
Yes.
niyo yun. Billion din doon.
Yes.
Sa lower house, si Toby Tiangco, sinabing billion sa ilang... How far can the ombudsman go when there are
Actually, hindi man sa insertion, Karen eh.
Oh.
Kasi, ang alam ko dyan, the planning officer of the DPWH then sent a text message to Tito Soto asking me if he wanted anything in the budget.
Yeah.
Which means that that budget had not yet been submitted to Congress at the time.
Oo.
So,
Hindi pa buo ang NEP.
Hindi pa buo yung NEP.
Yes.
Oh, yun yan. So, it happens even before that.
Yeah.
Mayroon mga tao na nagbo-broker. Meron ng conspiracy angle yan. So we just have to roll with the punches and dig up more evidence against people who are abusing the system.
Okay. Wait, one last question. You're no longer with the DOJ, but I think I want to ask you this. It became controversial. Is the Witness Protection Program, right?
Yes.
Restitution. Restitution is often seen as a precondition of the WPP, but not yung pagbalik ng pera, yung ninakaw. Hindi nakasaad daw yun sa batas. What other alternatives or legal mechanisms are there, right, for the state to recover stolen public funds?
Karen, nasa civil code yan. Nasa civil code yan na ill-gotten wealth or accidentally procured wealth has to be returned. These are what you call the natural obligations that we have. But it is enshrined in the civil code. There are many laws supporting the fact that ill-gotten wealth should be returned. Hindi lang naman yan sa Witness Protection Act. In the Witness Protection Act, we have a memorandum of agreement that we can enter into. And it also says in the Witness Protection Act that we will draw up the rules for the admission of witnesses. And then restitution is one of them, Karen. It's just a natural obligation that has to happen. Ang mamamayan natin, pag ginakaw mo na cellphone, Karen, tinawagan ka ng pulis, sasabihin sa'yo ng pulis, nahuli namin yung magnanakaw, punta ka sa presinto. Pagpunta mo ron, ang tatanungin mo, nasaan ang telepono ko? Pag nakuha mo yung telepono mo, gusto mo pa magdemanda o hindi na? Do you still want to be bothered or not? Isn't that how people feel about it? I think that it's something that everybody in this country thinks to be the right thing is to return ill-gotten wealth. Yun naman yun eh. Ibalik ang nakaw. I think it's a basic postulate of good governance.
Yeah. Actually, you made a really good example there about the cell phone.
Yes, exactly.
Ganun talaga in daily life.
Yes.
Oo, pag maghirap ka, presinto ka kagad, di ba? Ibalik mo. Oo, bakit iba kapag malaki ang ninakaw?
Exactly, di ba?
Oo.
Dapat isoli talaga yan. Alam mo, Karen, pagka napanis yung kaso, sa bandang dulo, wala ka na makukuha. Mauubos lahat yan pag hindi mo kinuha yan. Pag hindi mo pinabalik. I-freeze na nga natin. Kaya nga pinifreeze natin yan eh. Asset preservation is one of the means to do it for the final judgment. But if you can recover it earlier, so much the better.
All right. On that note, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Is there anything else you would like to announce, sir, before we go?
Wala naman akong announcement dito. Basta sa akin, we go to work every day. God willing, we will be able to go over all the cases that need attention by the Office of the Ombudsman. Yun po. Public service. I mean, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm happy to be here serving as the Ombudsman.
Now, I wanted to say also, are you changing also the way the Ombudsman communicates with the public? Because I think you are the most, for now, you are the most vocal, accessible to the media in terms of what's going on inside. And maybe the second would be Conchita Carpio Morales. But so far, you've been doing press cons every day or every other day.
Karen, I've always had the knack for reinventing positions. Everything that I come across with, pag ako nalagay sa isang lugar, I tend to reinvent it in the way that I think is right. And I think that if you are going to protect the people, they have to hear from you. Kasi sinasabi yung ombudsman, protector of the people. Diba? Defender of the people, protector of the people. It's ano yan eh. It's something that you have to be visible, I think. It's something that has to happen to balance out the unscrupulous elements of government and
Yeah.
society. Yes.
Oo. Oo. Because there's been an image that the Ombudsman's office many years ago is inaccessible to ordinary people. Parang protektado, mahirap awayin ang nakaupo sa pwesto. How would you change that image sa ordinaryong tao na pwede silang magreklamo sa Office of the Ombudsman?
Yes. Yung public interest, yung public ano namin, yung public assistance center namin will be the ones receiving all of these complaints. They're also the ones on top of the SALN issuances. Kaya
Oo nga
lang
pala.
maglalabas na SALN. No? Meron na kami ganun. May plano na kami dyan.
Oo.
Kasi nga, we want the office to receive complaints and process them from consumers, from people who were wronged by people, for government officials who are not doing their job, from the basura that accumulates everywhere, with the mayors not doing anything. I think this is why this office was created, because out of frustration, Karen, that the whole legal system and the whole political system can sometimes fail. Kaya nila niligay yung ombudsman. At least that's one of the most intelligent things that the framers of the Constitution did in 1987.
Ito, quick na lang ito, sir, the SALN. When you came into office, that's the first thing you said, right? And you now have senators, lawmakers who are releasing their SALN on their own. But let's say an ordinary citizen wants to see the SALN of the president, or how do they do it? Pwede ba yun?
Well, we will have to ask them. Kasi ano yan Karen, we don't really want to invade privacy rights needlessly. Pero kung talaga may controversy, it can happen. But we will work from there, Karen. I think that it's a work in progress on how transparent can be. Kasi nga, we have to redact names of minor children, we have to redact addresses, we have to redact signatures, and other information that might be sensitive. Otherwise, I think that it's a transparency tool. And we will work on it. We will work on making it more transparent as the days go by.
All right. On that note, once again, thank you so much, Ombudsman Jesus Crespin Remulla. And good luck to you, sir. We do hope that you really make the change. And this is, I would have to say, this is a legacy post for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.